Edika, Sen Edika, Inabeka, Miaro, Miara, Endo, Miaro, Miara, Ejumedia, Inabeye, Miaro, Miara, Endo, Miaro, Miara.
Yo, additional man of Persia Church and Bar Expert Solution TV, so meeting at the Rasta. The dog yard, the monk, young coupon asks, I'm at the Pebia and then Quanda so home away more. At the Pebia the near no by check Ghana Honsem. In some way, cost for Ghana, and the other check Hansem. And the topic of Reckon Hansem, a galamsey. Galamsey. Nana, you ever heard a galamsey cry, then a buy? You see, son, you name say galamsey or you son. Getting a son getting in any name say galamsey or. And here you never took galamsey. You never toy ever took galamsey. Me kai bra me swa me abranch at toa. That is 2005, 2006. As I said, me nini was so. I Judah as I said, Judah Banso. Jura Banso and a mini, I want to start to say me juma. Sabana minia forestation for being a juma. Sabreno, no more galamsey or Banso. And so Sabreno, no and say as I say. Yea, the near yes, and ye Dunia, ye Dua Timonia, oh, Fum, Sabreno, 2005, 2006 Sabre. No Juma near your home. And so not galamsey for home, ye galamsey. But I'm galamsey no more and say as I say. And say, Insure neade. Me kai sabreno 2005 2006 na me wo dwura banso no. Nsuo na da dwura banso krutia ho no your friend River Ankobra. River Ankobra and a fama bedu friends Ankobra sa bridge na wo da ziema aksim infinity ho. Kekam ko. Sa nsuo na da ho. E ba be bopo no mu ho. Sa River Ankobra na ifisro sa na eba. Nti sabre na etimi dware our Vancouver, our Banso. And only a gary and only a saddy idea, Sarah Vancouver, Sabreno. Now you soon need a hawk roging and money need galley, and only a dear near Manina. Now, a day and a fiddy. Galamsey, ever say essential. A day and a match Chinese for being room. Your mother's son, Fidian, Cassian, by ya, almost as some dear Galamsey. The genesis of Chinese galamsey, and I'm over here. So the near to no make galamsey na Obianca says Sasa and saying you. A year day and I feed the Chinese style galamsey named Fidianca see any boom. They hear the genesis of Chinese galamsey. In 2011, Sabreno na penny or Chikunya so Ghana, a President Mills, the Memphis currency. Or no, a president of the Republic of Ghana. Ghana and China for a contract to be loan agreement. China Development Bank, just got $3 billion. Omoko just can and no, and they fuel the income of the Chinese people to the country. Says can Omoko and it starts the Chinese for no, eba Ghana, and the fuel starts a fuel the Chinese coming to Ghana. To start galamsey. And then the Chinese phone be bree a big Ghana or me galamsey. Documenter a desk scream the name now him. Or call the Minister of Finance on my website our home. 2011 and almost sign agreement. I could just a loan. Na sa loan and the Chinese phone in your coin a big Roman. I started a deal for by a bear galamsey. Now, sa agreement almost sign we and check. And a pa Mills, a young coupon friend. And a pa Mahama by Falcunian. Nanka pa Mahama by Falcunian or more sass, no more than Fidianca, see a baby and Nama. Nanka so regularity, sir. I hope one team by you, and I said BCBC when Timian come home. So I shall say, I went to me and yet. And I'm also not buying a become. In 2016, and a AKUFO Addo by Falcunian. And the AKUFO Addo by Falcunian or he dean or no, the course on a soul or his own beja. and or the Operation Vanguard for Operation Galam Stop for in Abamu. Or says I didn't answer and check and anas Aremia anas. Acquire investigation. And or chin crofo good tape soon crofo moje bribe a protected galamsey for Chinese for foresting or quaje or go documentary naba bonting. Documentary no here any.
Small-scale and artisanal miners would have to follow due process before engaging in any mining activity. Yet, some have complained of underhand dealings. With little money, they say, you can be allowed to circumvent rules on the roadmap and be allowed to go on the field with your excavators to mine without proper documentation and approval as prescribed by the roadmap. People also add that you can pay some top men at IMCIM and they would arrange for protection for you while you're mining illegally. So, we set out with our hidden cameras to find out who would help us bend the rules for their selfish interest. Who would help us stab the nation and the president in the back and do things contrary to the roadmap. Are there really shortcuts to mining illegally?
But the battle against galamsey is nowhere near being won yet, and I appeal to all citizens to be part of the battle to keep our lands and water bodies safe.
We got a company called Ore Resources Enterprise. In our investigation, we discovered that almost everybody involved in the fight against illegal mining was willing to take money to help us mine illegally. Meet Jimmy, a guy we met at the reception of the IMCIM office. He showed us how he would supply us with tip-offs with the movements of the IMCIM security task force so that we would avoid detection. We also met Bimpong, a soldier with the Ghana Armed Forces who is part of the National Security Operatives at the Interministerial Committee.
So you say if it's not from our Bible, then they put you in the problem with that. They are not going to
But he was still willing to help us secure protection for our galamsey activities.
Nobody should respond.
Then there's Bafo, a policeman and national security personnel attached to the IMCIM. Bafo was happy to go into negotiations with us on the amount to be paid if we wanted protection for our illegal mines.
We have protection. A little bit tired and I dropped things down for you.
Okay.
for many of Mamma Moon, and many Panibishia, Mohu Commander, and I say, Mutimiaqua. Maybe so you will mean Pana coming in a bamboo. May pecking on fast. I said, Namoyano, Six the Pina. Evans, Evans, and I'm more protect or more. Or Ashanti region, Kurunuka, anything. Forest, nature. In Patakin. For Nipanigam, what into a person car, you be sham no more, no more trans, no more farm of bed and breakfast. Let's live in. And the only thing I need to see me is here. Now, your one more be busy. I'll say you also before.
Over Kebab, Coca-Cola and Malta Guinness, we met these two police officers, Kennedy Frimpong and Ano, also of the Interministerial Task Force. Kennedy and Ano also work as Jubilee House security personnel. They were introduced to us by BAFO to further our discussions on protection for illegal mining.
Your conversion, my protection.
Yeah, no. Nobody will keep you. With the army. And I shoot you enough, 20 and a half or 4. Maybe some near 1 mile. As I say, only Yenny Saman is like a Saman. Now you package be as a your own man. The woman. Alright. So, to be very woman. So, I don't know that. There's not a bit of documentations. But
they told us how much they would charge to protect our small-scale concession and added that they would take some of the money to their top bosses. They charged an amount of 16,000 cedis every month and 300 cedis each week during patrol if they are to give us 3 personnel for the patrol.
We are ready to move anytime.
Despite these relatively low-level officials, can we get to the top of the chain? With our company, called All Resources Enterprise, we decided to move further up on the chain. We first met Andy, a connection man who would link us to the people at the top. He demanded for cash to do that transaction.
Oh, Andy sent me for we different. Very comfortable, say, and be a son of gas me some be that say. But then better be on a castle come and be used. That's when your lands is my. What they are running a bit now, they be here's your copy.
Andy charged money alleged to be for one Charles Bissell and for himself.
You know, cash. I'm good at ash and brown.
But I know
You guys did it.
After waiting, so you will be on a money 35 account.
Nice.
And I'm oh, tell you who you know your account.
I'm okay.
Who we are.
Okay, then it's
where the enemy in discuss here. Into the audio. Then,
so bad.
But remember, you be coming.
Show your call, show commitment. Oh, one or two things.
He took us to meet Charles Bissell. Mr. Charles Bissell is secretary to the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. We told Bissell our excavators were already on site working and we needed him to work on the documents while we were still mining. He took our documents and called for it to be fast-tracked for us.
Because we have to make sure you fast track with the say, but new year, and I know them are working centrally. All resources, what's the situation?
It hasn't come up yet. Let me quickly check.
Waiting on the last 1 year, and what you mind until the waiting on the car machine. But we prefer Sabita. So we prefer at the end of everything. One hour you make up with him in the idea.
He asked us to pay 3,000 Ghana cedis for mapping after he had ordered for the sticker to be fast-tracked for us with all other processes being circumvented. A sticker we should have before going to the field.
Doc is doing an itinerary, they're going to map next week. So I'll speak to Doc, but tell Doc, give the name to Doc. As I said, they should add it to it, so they do their hand. And then they'll pay the 3,000 for mapping. Okay, we want 3,000, for mapping. So let him do that now, and then give them to Doc. Doc will call you, and then the mapping team will go there. And then let's train to apply. Not apply for EPA. Right. The EPA, Doc there.
Okay.
So I think Doctor is coming back. Ralph, now asylum now. Okay. I think it's almost through. Okay. So I'll bet she have for mapping. This 9 mapping to one and which countries here? Okay. Mapping to non next week. Now for instance, non-free EP, fast track man. He was I will be that. No, this is a limited time only. So you can go back to mine. I'm a sticker the video. I'm a sticker.
No, you really EP and video and then. Okay.
Let's talk to now today. I'll call now. So I'll make sure okay. That's it too. I think the normal accountants for you. Okay. Gentlemen, do I have? Obi wa have no so child, yes? Oba, why you need to have an actually I'm a mistake and after EP fast track because why you know I can get 2 months so you know okay, sorry child.
So we paid the 3,000 Ghana cedis and took a receipt, and we were given the 4 copies of the approved sticker. First of all, we were supposed to be vetted by a team made up of chiefs, officials from the Forestry Commission, Environmental Protection Agency, and so on. The vetting of All Resources Enterprise was not advertised in digital and print media form as the roadmap indicates. We have been told to commence mining activities. After this, we called Andy, our connection man again, to see whether there would be men he can get to actually be guarding us while we mine illegally.
Oh, that's good.
He had a share of cash again.
They are main one. It's immediate. Zoom that none of them are
He directed us to Kobe. He's the real guy who can give us the needed protection for cash.
As a documentary about Bontino, Yante Honke say, yeah, Papa, AKUFO Addo was sorry I can't baby. And that's why Bontin Abakan baby said, you're more, you know. And that's what Shanson or Manas were you, my dear, and I say, be said, some crofooning now, on what I saw you, man. A soldier for name penny for security for name, police for or mobile video, no money now. They are all there working right now as I speak to you. And a gusu. If you want to umba betu abano, akakra umba betu abano, and also we be galamsey. AKUFO Addo Kuroya was so stop galamsey no, was who was left the ban of galamsey. You betu abano. I know as I left the ban of galamsey. Or left the ban of the adiagum. Nancy ya. Yetwa baby ya. Joy news for a documentary. Ekot capture 30 military men and Mugu forest man or more protected Chinese for or more galamsey.
Joy News has discovered over 30 fully armed military personnel protecting, minus pillaging the Manso Forest in the Ashanti region. This is despite the government's announced withdrawal of all military personnel from mining sites across the country. Erastus Asaridonko reports there was a standoff between the military personnel protecting the miners and the Environmental Sustainability Task Force of the Ministry of Environment, to the extent that the Joy News team carrying the operations of the task force was attacked and had its vehicle and camera damaged.
We arrived at this mining settlement deep within the forest enclave. 7 Chinese nationals were quickly located and arrested. Leader of the team conducted a search room by room. There were indications of military presence.
From what we are seeing here, it looks like there are some military men involved in this whole activity in this forest. If you are looking at their uniforms, even some have names on them, but we did not meet any of them. But looking at it, I think the military were the people protecting them here to do this illegal job.
Okay, so what are we doing with the uniforms? First of all, we need to retrieve them and then ascertain as to who sanctioned their duties here.
So these are military accoutrements. You can find names on them. This one is Camel. This one is Camel. We have the other one, Amweni, on this one. And these are As security men have been able to authenticate, these are quality Ghana Army uniforms, indicating that we may have some military involvement here in this site.
In the midst of our search, a young military officer drove into the compound in a Tundra vehicle.
Yes, sir. Obi to say, we see a lot of people. Obi to say, so just no more.
He started making some calls to his superiors.
I will do the staff sergeant, sir. We are here at this thing, Tontokrom. The hot duties, and there are some policemen and media be here.
Within the next 30 minutes, the whole place was crawling with over 30 angry, armed military men. Anger turned into heated verbal exchanges and near fisticuffs. A group of physically built men with known faces from the Delta Force group also joined them. The Chinese were released. Our news team was prevented from filming anything from this time onwards as they overpowered the task force and took over.
Stop what you're doing! Stop what you're doing!
Things got physical as the macho men assaulted my driver, forcibly took the keys to our vehicle and struggled with a camera technician for the camera. Under the watch of the military men, they broke our windscreen and side mirrors. Owner of the site, Donald Ntua, ordered the military to delete all footages from our camera and our personal phones. But we managed to retrieve items from our formatted card. It took the intervention of the Ministry of Environment and the Military High Command to get us released.
Sa documentary ba bontin yente ho wa se president wa so ba ka ho bibi and se president share bo se or the presidency ebe to online or the presidency ebe to online to fight this galamsey. Here president one our share bo, so you put your presidency on the line to fight the galamsey.
How important the issue that has brought all of us here together is for the future of our country. We've gone through some difficult times in Ghana in the last few years and longer, and it has meant that a lot of people have had to find a way to keep body and soul together. So it's got people involved in all kinds of activities. And I can understand it, that the first duty of any man, any woman is to provide for their family, and you do it with the best means you can. But we have also to recognize that difficult as things have been and the looking for employment and stuff, there are things that we just cannot allow to happen. And one of them is the heritage, the inheritance that our fathers and our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers bequeathed to us, especially the space, the Ghanaian space, which we all occupy. We have a duty to preserve it for those who are coming after us. And if our river bodies are drying up, our landscape is being desecrated, we here, leaders of our society, leaders of our nation, political leaders, traditional rulers, religious leaders, we have a responsibility to say no. This, we can't allow it to go on for our own common survival and the survival of those who are to come. We can't, if we allow it, we are jeopardizing our own future. That's how serious the matter is. Rivers that have been with us for centuries are drying up. Forest areas, which we should preserve for the sanctity of our life and our environment, being devastated by this phenomenon of galamsey. And all kinds of people from all aspects of our national life are involved in this exercise. Security personnel, political leaders, businessmen, and dare say it, nananum. Some are all involved in this. So we sat down, we said to ourselves, we have a responsibility. When you take the oath that you are sworn to protect the integrity of the nation, Ghana. You sworn to uphold its constitution. You swear to uphold its sovereignty. That is that the care of the nation, what's in it? Its people, its resources, its nature have been put in your care. Temporarily. As a trustee, like Nananum are trustees of the lands on which they occupy for their people. So you are too at the national level a trustee of the lands and the resources of our nation. So you ask yourself, how best can you discharge this trust? You sit back and say, well, all these young men don't have anything to do. So let it go on. At least it's better that they're earning something, that they should be at home and perhaps causing other kinds of problems. When you know that the activities that they're involved in are jeopardizing the very survival of our nation. I took the decision that that would be a betrayal of the trust that the Ghanaian people put in me on the 7th of January this year. And as a result, we established this committee within the government to design a policy for us, not just to stop it, to reclaim the land, to let our rivers work again, but also to see how we can figure a way for all these able-bodied young men who are involved in this activity to find an alternative livelihood. So it's a package. It's a package that we have designed to try and bring this menace to a conclusion. I've said it in the cabinet, and perhaps it's the first time I'll be saying it in public. I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter.
Sanemo ina akwaso yente se president abowa. Chesia ase yensuo. Ya sase. Mo de fidia excavators ankase tu ese no. Ya se ma yesi nsuo kura e filter pipe mu bakra no. Nsuo e fi pipe mu bakra no e clay. Nsuo e fi pipe mu ba. E fi pipe mu ba. Pipe mu nsuo e clay. Now, then I'm fine on Tunche. Near say, Uncrophone Bricasa, Uncrophone, when you do any, and our president say what you Jack and I'm say, and a friend said, or more Minko Jumesa, or combat one, Namsendisa. Several Chinese for them, my gun number started our Monquasia Galamsey. Not Ghana for a common do woman. And I send a comedy woman. A brother Chinese for infant for DNA search and fan a honey man and bagana some best article say some quasi galam say no. Ghana for no common woman and I said a comedy woman. Ghana for young men cannot crab could be with her. What is wrong is wrong. Ensuring in an essay, pipe moons you create free background, a clay, a clay, and you ensure you a teche. Na yet one year so can say accommodating crofo binti. Na yen jam no one sings you. Okay, yan fans you no crom was any as no was entunche. Na yen say a day the most dangerous aspect of it any day ben. The most dangerous aspect of it any day ben. This one. Sadly way your friend Mercury. So one team Mercury can Google. Well, we access to the internet. Google what is Mercury. Sadly way and no more chi gold no. So much ye galamsey in area no horu wia and no more di gusu na boa gold na no mo watching. Na sadly way the dangerous aspect of it. Yenhwe niemra.
Mercury poisoning, also known as hydrargyria, is a type of metal poisoning and medical condition caused by exposure to mercury and its compounds. Fish consumption is by far the most common cause of mercury poisoning, although it can also be caused by breathing contaminated air, being exposed to mercury vapor, such as in dental restorations, and also from the improper disposal of mercury-containing objects, like thermometers or fluorescent lamps. Mercury poisoning happens everywhere throughout the world, since it's an element found in marine life and is commonly used in everyday items. Exposure to mercury leads to preliminary symptoms that include skin discoloration, swelling, shedding or peeling of the skin, and peripheral neuropathy, such as itching, burning, and pain. It then affects your brain and central nervous system as well as the endocrine system, causing kidney malfunction. It then boosts your risk of heart disease, increases your susceptibility to infection, damages your immune system, and destroys stomach and intestinal cells.
And an expert no. What fast and your money beam? A behind infection, I cannot. Now why when you experience and also need the all can.
So here, let me just share with you as a practicing physician who one suffered from mercury poisoning.
I had it too.
And two has treated literally tens of thousands of people with metal poisoning and have done tens of thousands of tests. And I would say it's probably one of the most ignored and underappreciated causes of chronic disease that doctors don't know how to think about, test, or measure. And personally for me, I lived in China and it got huge exposure to mercury. I don't have great genes at detoxifying. And it destroyed every system in my body. It destroyed my gut. I had diarrhea for years and bloating and pain. It destroyed my mitochondria. I developed chronic fatigue syndrome, and it was such an extreme version that my muscle enzymes were high. My CPKs were like 600. My liver was affected. My immune system was affected. I started developing rashes and sores all over. I was completely cognitively impaired. I couldn't focus, think, concentrate, remember where I was, in
you're not
train
in a good
of thought.
place. Yeah.
This was like 25 years ago.
Until now, we have problem no. Who rebel you African na ye this thing. Ya redo do aba African na ye sa chemical. Na sa dey we so no, egu form a. And I say egu and dissolve and kwasa asene mo. Asene is very ayade bia ever ayi. Udi dadie e buo kra tuma e pega buo no ba ni. Sa dey we, wo de buo wo hwie gwankrem. Ana so hwie gwa dem no de buo atum, e buo etare ni. A born hanging, a born in quasia. And yet is nsu a wo de bo to ma quasia no. Wo de nsu to sadie we mu a bo to sadie we mu a bo na say ani. Sadie we. Enti sadie we ko nipa ye mu a. Don we bia wo. Yare horo ade breyen anu bi no mo kan ho asem. Say and dispose sa nema we ye na se ko ye duanim. Yensu ne ye die na yedi nyina yedi wo fom panche eno ne yedi bayere ne ade nyina fom na se san chemicals ya omode eye gold ne se kwasa asene mu na se ye due nuane na se san ne ma ko fra na ko nipa ye mu a Ghana for company for yesterday. Sadie way, a gunsium, Nessa nipa no ma. Ghana for company for yesterday. Presidency. Nana AKUFO Addo, one our promise is that you will put your presidency in the line, on the line to fight this. I didn't know what to ho. Na sa niema we nyina ekoso. Na documentary do rubber bonting, and na sa koye bieba, join is akoye bieba, na what to ho, na won kasa. When in pa, you know very well. When Timmy say you don't know, so what chairman, or in the Kumasi branch, chairman want to me is the manager. And I say he's the chairman of galamsey in Kumasi. When Timmy say win. He's involved. Win him, you know it. Even Canada Japan confirm. Canada Japan confirm. Say the people in the presidency are involved. The people in the presidency are involved. The galamsey. Opa, I want to yani the Canada Japan can yani.
Say, yentimi enya politicians. Ye nyina adwene a mabankrom say. We are serving the nation. Intino Yama Kronosano and Kosua. I am both NDC MPP. Yen account. For here galamsey in some about airtime.
Very disturbing.
Airtime. Send me by. I don't know near see if I count myself. But you see what has happened. And yet, and painful be breeze count. They should bow their head in shape, down their head in shape.
From all across the ministry.
Time. And your ministry didn't go out. Their MPP form painful. They should stay away. At dear President AKUFO Addo Castle Benya. They say, AKUFO Addo to say, a dria is siwa any.
Wow.
Yes. With the galamsey.
Oh.
Madam, I'm telling you, main from AKUFO Addo to what to say. A dria is siwa any. Because ni rot. Galamsey. When it comes to galamsey, AKUFO Addo a rot complete.
Serious.
Na momo tumi kwaji obi machines say onu de. Onidi. Now they are mauba. Please. But Mose Matiamidu. Onko prosecute obi. Wa hunsa we. Meditino so no. On say nane rem. You better no prosecute.
Asem no.
Ja. You better no prosecute. Wo. And their confidence now to tell Mahama say your friend say Matiamidu say unprosecute me. Because me say me yes say and 9 real. So to tree. Yeah, that is what is going on. AKUFO Addo ogina ho say gim. Edua siwa eni when it comes to galamsey.
Wow. This is harrowing.
Yeah, when it comes to galamsey. I told you say Oma Feli Papa no. Yesterday I met Minister of Defense. Okachira me say there are 2 sets of military for or no military of far woman. Efro Musenkura
near Vanguard.
Operation Vanguard for no
Galam stop.
Hold on. Operation Vanguard for no Omushe America for soldier antade no camouflage. Enna from Port Watenzo Kwate Galam stop soldiers.
Oh, this is how the whole stuff is.
Okay. Soldier for from Professor from Port Watenzo do omu ye adwuma no. Omu ye Galam stop soldiers.
I see.
And san omu wo Operation Vanguard. The Galam stop for soldiers no. Onom chia na kwa usi de ya bisi ho. Truck. Na kwa usi mimi chairman Bute on na ma me hu first. Odeni ba no kasa kire no wantie MPP for what central region na di aboro.
So Argentina president wote ho. Argentina president wote ho na sa niema wo nkrofo fi o ma so no modin chemicals ahodo be kunyen na yete ho. Adeni etie mamu na ye nsu ye nom abedu ba bi krade ye nsu nom bio nsu ni na we na yete ho na yete ho ne yehwe ahemfo we are involved in this. Ahemfo we are involved in this galamsey issue. Yes, let be some say. One na no mo beto o mo an ene mudi so hene no. Sa na mo sense ase na anka babeto. Sa na mo di na chemicals ene mfidie e be dwira sase ese yensu a anka mo nya nsu anom. Say impedifo se nsu ye nkwa. Nipa uni nsu ro nya nsu anom da kora untimi ntanase. No mo say yensu, let's say 90% of the population in Ghana anum nsu nam fom. Nsu nam fom nsu tini ya. And 90% of the population in Ghana no. Apart from krom muti krom nkran kuma seta krade krom a munya sa enumpo na adane ayi adane a clay nsu na a food pipe mu ba kra na adane clay. So internet at least all the population ya no nsu a tenefa for no more the chemicals are horror ebe grow manum ebe science yensuo science ase eku ye mu nipai na mpanifo motete ho na mon kasa sika na ye modan munye sika nti aye modan nti mon nwene se yare ewo ho sa chemicals yi se yare di be gya o man no se monima anka ma peda de hye e de ahye muti sa Mercury no mudi yes aga mse so munim yare a edi breast asena so munim yare a edi bre munipa so munim yare a edi bre yensuo so munim yare a be ye nipadua anka ma peda de che edi aso ya ba AKUFO Addo yesro munja galamsey no AKUFO Addo ne MPP for yesremo munja galamsey no NDC for company for so wom monso munja galamsey no ahemfo ya monso motare akire no monso munja galamsey no samonjai ye ka kire mo samonjai ye mrantie no ye de ho bagim samonjai a ye mrantie ne de ho bagim ese penna wotifie emma mo frawe nanka no ye bu nanka wefo a wo ka ho ye na AKUFO Addo yesrew sa wotena ho na hwese sa ne ma we koso na ye kwae documentary ba sankrofo guhuram asojafo a esa mo bom man ho ba guhuram ahwen galamseyfo na wote ho na wonkasa wonka ho asem da me ente anas awre me ya anas akoy investigation by wonka ho hwe na wo so fati de be galamsey yesero bisaw e de galamsey na wo fight ye betu abaya won tu galamsey ngum esanza open vote nyesa ntu tu galamsey gum sisi da jinsamu galamsey na jinsamu e de na obeya fa yesero na AKUFO Addo yesero ani ahemfo motaye kire yesremo se sana me na nanom sense ase na anka mama meto se na tane na nanom sensuo na anka mama meto se sana na nanom ni nro nu bone fi ahoho man so sa ayino se munima me ka kire ma sa Mercury no sa Mercury no o man bi ni ho ye makwan se yemfa muram wiese man bi ni ho opa mompa mbugo munguguru no mohwe Mercury ye importo nobody allows man bi ni ho makwan se you should import Mercury into the country na ye den na Mercury every China ku kan because Ghana ye Mercury ho menim se Ghana ye manufacture Mercury e wo Ghana ye mo so afri krom ha ya China ha na de ko the Sophie China na de ba Ghana ho ade na mama kwan mo de Mercury ni ewuro man ni na say Chinese ambassador abaka asembi Chinese embassy abaka asembi wo say omo Chinese for no mo ma visa Ghana for na ma visa omo Chinese for no mo ntimi mfro mo krom ehu se consensus wo ha ye Ghana for ye na edim enti Ghana for na ese blame o na who cause am when you blame no anya Ghana ban hwan ne embassy no anya Ghana ban hwan ne ma concession no anya hemfo yesremo yesaka bi yesremo se mo njai sa ne ma we mo njai sa mo se yensuo se yensase mo njai sa mo ma hohwo ebo ma di nubone begu yensuo ne yensase aku yen ya mrante de ho bajim na menim se Ghana police for no mo do so ne Ghana mrante ni nyina Ghana police for no mo soja for so mo kura tua yensuo be kura sekan so mo kura tua na so mo soja for na so mo bon o man no hwaja pare ho ban no o mo mom e bo ahokwo mo wie ja pade ho ban de ya yensuo be fa sekan AKUFO Addo yesrew munjai na ahoye amnante ni abre AKUFO Addo ne mo nkrofo ne mo MPP fo amoye galamsey ne ahemfo mpanifo mo di sa ne mnachi munjai na amnante ne ni abre se munjai mbati yanka manuesi
obrei inabebo miaro enyo miaro